Welcome to the podcast with wings, the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set. Strap yourselves in while host David Shortte and the Shayne Train Williams take you on a flight around the country, sourcing winners and the latest news on the big two meetings in WA as well as the Meadows and Wentworth Park. The boys will be joined by East Coast experts Jaycin Campbell and Corey Smith. We'll pass on mail from some of WA's top kennels and get to know our industry members. You're at the pointy end of the plane for this week's edition of the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set.
Hello and welcome along to the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set for this week, our third episode. Lovely to have your company. I'm flying solo here in the studio today, but my partner in crime is up there for the Darwin Cup, the Shayne Train Williams. Hello, Shayne. Nice to have you on the podcast again this week and fresh off a tremendous second edition. Stacks of winners there last week. We'll be looking to do it all over again this time around. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Shorty. Good morning, listeners. Yeah, it was a very big week last week, Shorty. I don't know how we're going to topple that, but we'll do our best to try and find some winners for the punters out there. It was absolutely huge fill-ups all over Australia, Shorty. Outstanding effort by all our team members.
Indeed, and hopefully we can do justice to what we did last week again this time around. It's certainly a busy weekend of chasing. We had, of course, our sprint championship heats and lots of activity around Australia aiming up towards the Nationals over the weekend, which was great. But we'll start with what's caught your eye over the last 7 days. Train, what's caught your eye? Maybe something up there in Darwin.
Yeah, well, a couple of things, Shorty. Like the Nationals have caught my eye. I watched all the heats around Australia last night, and there's some very impressive performances, including some of our WA stars. That was a really good, some racing up there last night at Northern. And Shorty, what about the thing that's blown up Twitter? This transgender boxer that's I don't know, from Algeria that had a fight with this Italian girl this morning, and she stopped after 46 seconds and said she's never been hit so hard in her life. So that's blown up Twitter and everything. Did you get a chance to see any of that?
Oh, I've seen a little bit of it on social media, but I didn't see it live. It's it's certainly muddy waters as it sits right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's blown up Facebook and Twitter, and yeah, I don't know. I think they got not allowed to compete in the World Championships, but somehow the Olympic IOC committee have let them compete in the boxing in the Olympics. So yeah, it's not a good look in my opinion.
Also, I've been focusing more on the good stuff going on, and it's been a good start to the Olympics for the Aussies. Jess Fox, dual gold already. She goes down as the greatest in that canoe, and she's still got potential to grab one more. Her and her sister have got one more event to go around in, so we'll continue to get around Foxy. The Boomers, their first win was good against Spain. Their loss to Canada was far from terrible, and they take on Greece on Friday night to get through to the next phase of the tournament. We'll be getting around them. The Opals were disappointing in round one to Nigeria, but were very good bouncing back last night against Canada, so hopefully they can straighten things up. And a big week from the track and field, stacks of other activities. TABtouch have got all the markets if you're looking to have a punt on the Olympics. Anything else caught your eye? What about the Darwin Cup on there on Sunday? You went to a big barrier draw function there yesterday and box draws and the like for the big race. Plenty of WA flavour to the Darwin Cup this year.
Yeah, Shorty, just quickly touching on Jess Fox, she's an absolute star. She's actually a Greyhound ambassador in New South Wales, Shorty, so we always get behind Jess. Good to see her get the golds there, gold. Hope she can get that third one. Yeah, yesterday, Shorty, we went to the barrier draw for the Darwin Cup and the horses, and Ollie and Bossy were the guest speakers, and they were absolutely amazing, Shorty. They spoke really well, and they relived their 5 favourite moments, not necessarily their best moments, but their 5 favourite moments each. And Ollie's number 2 moment was obviously Media Puzzle, winning the Cup. But his number 1 moment, Shorty, was his last ride on Moonamek in the Gold Rush. So the crowd erupted when they played the replay, and then you heard D-Mac's call of Moonamek. So that was a good day. Yeah, yesterday, Shorty had quite a few sips and enjoyed some good company there. And all the talk around town for the Greyhound Cup, Shorty, is that the favourite's going to be hard to beat. Obviously, you get Bonesy on later, and he can go through his thoughts on the race. But yeah, the mail around town is Flip Your 50 from box 2 is going to be the hardest to beat. Looks set to find the front, and a few dogs on the outside of it's going to run cover. So yeah, can't wait to get there on Sunday night to Winnelli Park and have a look at the Darwin Cup, Shorty.
should be a beauty. Looking forward to that. And we will catch up with Bonesy Harman, who went for 3 with his plays there last week. I was pretty impressed by the win of Smart and Classy last week. The time was there as well, 31 and 28. Has to overcome box 6, but certainly from a time perspective, it went a length quicker than Flip Your 50, and I wouldn't say that it's out of the race on that performance there last week. If you're looking for a bit of value, form a few West Aussies in the field as well. Wolfman, Molotov Boy, Messed Up Mary, Bantam Rocket, and also Omar Manelli. They've all raced here in WA at different stages of their career. So we'll chat to Bonesy about that later on and hopefully help find the winner of that Darwin Cup. That's what's caught our eye over the last 7 days. Let's roll up the sleeves and get down to business now, Train. Now, last Friday night, we were both able to land our treble multis. I think yours was 17, mine was 13. Let's see if we can't play it again, Sam. Tonight, Mandurah, excellent 12-race card. Highlight 2 races of the Express Stake Heats. Your key plays, please.
Yeah, I'm going to get it early tonight, Shorty. Race 1, number 2, Sure Oliver. This is a dog trained by Damien Credell. He's been racing it over the 488, and it's just been found wanting, including last week. Got pipped on the post there in the very last ride. Beating the nose there by another runner there. But dropped back to 400 here, Shorty. I just think that suits this dog, and I think box 2, it can find the rail early and the lead. And let's face it, if it leads tonight, it won't be getting run down, Shorty. So race 1, number 2, Sure Oliver, to kick us off. I'm then going to race 8, number 1, Paul Stewart trained Starlight Ariel. Not a winning machine by any means, but I just thought the map, she gets around that first corner unscathed, and she's got a big motor to wind up the back straight. Doesn't mind racing at the Mandurah circuit either, so I think she'll be hard to beat. Starlight Ariel, race 8, number 1. And then the very last race, Shorty, this dog, probably not really suited to 300 metres, but it just looked well placed to the eye. Pecorino Manelli, race 12, number 7. 2 of its last 3 runs over the 400s, it's run early splits of 6:20. Now that's pretty high. That's pretty getting along in those sort of class of races. So I just thought back to the 300, find the front or get up outside the leader and be too strong late, Pecorino Manelli. So my key plays for Mandurah tonight are race 1, number 2 will be the best, race 8, number 1, and race 12, number 7, Shorty.
Alrighty, 1, 2, 8, 1, 12, 7 for the Train. Earlier this morning on Chasing Winners, Ryan Levitsky's key plays were race 4, number 4, Startup Ando, race 5, number 5, Cambosis Jr., race 8, number 1, Starlight Ariel, and Jesse Earnshaw, race 2, number 4, Beauty and Me, race 4, number 4, Startup Ando, race 6, number 2, Unleashed Mayhem. For me, I am teaming up with race 2, number 4, Beauty and Me. Really like this dog tonight. So it's led at 7 or 8 of its last 10. It's been either first or right up there, competing for first on an early split. Drops back to 400 after those 488-metre performances and looks perfectly placed. It's a race without all that much early pace. I think Beauty and Me's just locked on to roll forward and land a forward position, and from there be really hard to beat. So race 2, number 4, Beauty and Me, very hard to beat. Then deeper into the card, race 7, number 5, Sunset Peppy. Dog runs into a good lineup here in this particular race, but I will say that the recent form has been really solid from Peppy. It was a good winner 3 back in fast time, 22-23. Then runner-up behind Spooky Hook and narrow margin in 22-21. Then I thought in the final last week it was full of merit running second again behind Spooky Hook, beating only a couple of lengths in 22-40. So the dog's racing in tip-top order. Cubit Manelli on its outside. Point blank, it was 360. I've had a saver on it because if Cubit Manelli turns up, it's the fastest dog in the race, but it can be a little in and out, and I'll lean towards the more reliable Sunset Peppy, race 7, number 5. And race 9, number 1, Tilly Tornado, 1 for John Cole here. This looks perfectly placed, grade 6 company, draws box number 1, and last time out was placed behind Fantasy Lee, beaten only a length in 17:38. There's a 17:4 run there recently, goes to box number 1. She gets her chance to return to the winners list here and won't get many better opportunities. So race 2, number 4, race 7, number 5, race 9, number 1. And yeah, we'll come back for some value. I also didn't mind Cambosis Jr. around that $7 mark. I thought that I'm using that Spooky Hook form, and 3 back was beaten 0.1 of a length behind Spooky Hook, who won that Express Stake final last week in grand style. So if we could run to that again here, could run a really cheeky race at $7 and $2.20. That is Cambosis Jr., race 5, number 5. Keep your eyes peeled for that one. That is our man Mandurah Friday night program taken care of. We'll now switch to Saturday night at Mandurah. Another excellent 12-race program. Obviously, the state sprint heats were on last night, Train, so that took a little bit of the quality, but we've still been left with a very good card there on Saturday night out at Mandurah again.
Yeah, for sure, Shorty. We've got a lot of nice young dogs running around at the moment, and I think one of them's going to win the first race again. Shorty, race 1, number 1, Max Capacity, dog trained by Lewis Clay. I've really had my eye on this dog ever since he had his quali trial. He run down a really smart dog out of the Holst kennel, and his run-home time was really good. And every time he's gone to the races, Shorty, he's just got better and better, this young pup, Max Capacity. He ran 27.37 two back, and that box won over the 488, Shorty. It's worth its weight in gold. So I reckon it'll bring him out a little bit better. He can posse up close, and it'll be too powerful late. Max Capacity, race 1, number 1. He'll kick us off. Next race, Shorty, dog you just mentioned before, Spooky Hook. I don't think he'll have any problems running out the 488. His run-home times over that 400 were scintillating. He ran home in 10.50 in the heat of that final that he was in last week. What was that final called, Shorty? Just escaped me.
That was the Shorts final.
The Shorts final, sorry, yeah. He ran home in 10.50 in that heat. I remember talking to him about him on Great Graves last week, and we identified him as the hardest to beat in that race. But, yeah, his run-homes times over that 400, he's strengthened right up now, this dog. So he gets a little bit of room here with some vacant boxes around, and I just think he can roll straight to the front, Shorty, and he'll be hard to beat. He's in really good form, Spooky Hook, for Andrew McLaren. So he'll be my next selection, Shorty, race 6, number 5. And then the dog that was very good to us last week, Shorty, race 8, number 8, Chef's Kiss. Looks like a fairy floss bandit. He used his brain really well. Not a hard box to get over from the 8, but he just made it look like easy work last week. The Rabartons are airborne as well. This looks a little bit tougher, but like I said, just handle itself like it did last week and be hard to beat from out there tomorrow night, Shorty, race 8, number 8, Chef's Kiss. So on top of race 1, number 1, and race 6, number 5, they're my players for Saturday night, mate.
Beautifully done. Thank you very much there, Train. On to Ryan Levitsky on Saturday. Race 4, number 5, West on Booney. Race 6, number 4, Shy Emoji. And race 12, number 2, Sunset Nightjar. So they were the plays there. For Ryan Levitsky, he also had a quaddie 1, 3 and 6, leg 1, 1, 4 and 5, leg 2, 1, 2, 5 and 8, leg 3, home with 2 and 8. So 1, 3, 6, 1, 4, 5, 1, 2, 5, 8 and 2 and 8 were Ryan's thoughts for a quaddie there Saturday night. And Jesse Earnshaw, race 1, number 1, Max Capacity, race 5, number 1, Coco Shimmer, race 7, number 8, Fancy That Fred. For me on Saturday night, I'm kicking it off the same way. Race 1, number 1, Max Capacity. This greyhound has been going really nicely for Lewis Clay. Draws beautifully here in box 1. I thought that got a super chance to roll up, have a good look at the arm, and running anywhere near that 27.37 will take a power of beating. Race 1, number 1. Race 8, number 8, Chef's Kiss. You're 100% correct. The way it handled itself last week was good, but that's not isolated. It did win from box 7 only a few starts ago, and similarly was very, very clever the way it went about it. It held its line early, and then as soon as there was a bit of a jam up inside, it actually went with the old, one of our favourite styles, the velodrome style. We'll see a bit of it in the cycling over the next little bit. It's gone a la Gary Newand, waited, and then as soon as the jam up was on the inside, whooshka, over it came. I think it'll be looking to do something similar. I do have respect for the 3 dog in that race, so West on Astro. It's gone as quick as 27.20, and it does map to get to the rails early doors. Thought it looked a great Quinella bet. And I'll go with the Cherry Bandit in the last. Race 12, number 1, Emerald Guard. This dog's had 4 starts off the red, 3 wins and a placing. Has gone as quick as 27.03, which is really hiking along. I think it'll be hard to beat late. So race 1, number 1, Max Capacity. Race 8, number 8, Chef's Kiss with a 3 and 8 Quinella. And race 12, number 1, Emerald Guard. My thoughts for Saturday night at Mandurah. Now, Train, what we will do is we'll go through all of your standard sort of plays and the like for the weekend upcoming, because you're not in the studio with us here today. So the show's going to be a little bit different for this week. We will do it all in this one hit for you because you're not here with me, and we've got to get the rest of the guys on the phone. So we'll start off with our best quaddie. Your quaddie, please, for Saturday night there at Mandurah.
Yeah, quaddie for Saturday, Shorty. I'm going to play 1, 3, 4, 6. Second leg, 1 and 4. Third leg, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the final leg, 2, 7, 8. 120 for a unit.
All right, so in recap, 1, 3, 4 and 6, leg 1, 1 and 4, leg 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, leg 3, home with 2, 7 and 8. My quaddie Friday night Mandra, I've gone pretty wide in the first and last legs here. I think there's scope for boilovers in both of them. So a little bit more, but you can just play for a smaller percentage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, leg 1. 2, 4 and 6, leg 2. 3, 5 and 6, leg 3, home with 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. That's $3.78 for a full, but you can play for 5% and spend less than $20 there. And if we can get a little bit of double figure value, we might still get a pretty nice result out of that tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 2, 4, 6, 3, 5, 6, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Moving on now to our best roughie of the weekend, either Friday or Saturday night. Have you got one there, Train?
What was that, sorry, Shorty?
Best roughie for the weekend?
Yeah, best roughie. I found one tonight, Shorty mentioned it yesterday. West on Miley tonight, race 7, number 8. It's around about that $12 mark. Just a dog that can bob up at times. So I think the drop back to 400 could possibly suit. She's got good speed. If she gets to start like her, she could swish over. So race 7, number 8 tonight, West on Miley.
Race 7, number 8, West on Miley is the roughie there for tonight's chasing there for the train. A greyhound that can show a little bit on its night. If it happened to be a bit of jamming inside and it was to get over, then the $12 would look a reasonable price. Got a great record, track and trip too. 19 starts, 8 wins and 4 placings. So getting a good price about a dog that bats at almost 50% track and trip. For me, I've gone to that race 8 on the program, which is really open and must be speedy. It's a $10 chance. Race 8, number 7 for Jeff Reed. It was a winner 4-back. It's been placed 2 or 3 starts since in reasonable times. Handles a wide draw, no problems. I thought it was an each-way bet worth having in a race where the fave in that race, Starlight Ariel, can get back in its races at different times and maybe must be speedy out wide on the swoop. Could give us a run for our money as our roughie there tonight. That is race 8, number 7 in Must Be Speedy. Have you got a roving banker for the punters this weekend?
Yeah, my roving banker this week, Shorty, is one of my dogs. Saturday night at Mandurah, race 2, number 2, Ripon Moses. I keep tipping him to win, so I think we'll put him in the rover this week because he's very consistent. I think he can run top 4. So race 2, number 2, Saturday, Ripon Moses.
All righty, race 2, number 2, Ripon Moses for the train there for his roving banker play for this upcoming weekend. From my perspective, looking for a rove option for this weekend locally, there's a couple of dogs that did appeal to me that should be going around at reasonable prices. I think that I'm going to just take race 9. I'm really keen that in this particular race, Expediential hits the frame. It's a dog that does run quite a few placings. It's generally very reliable for a place, and you can take it for sort of third and fourth. So a little bit with second, a little bit for third and fourth. Race 12, number 5, Expediential on Friday night there for me. Our roving banker play, race 12, number 5, Expediential on Friday night's card.
Warm up the scraps and pop some bread in the toaster. Here are the leftovers.
Leftovers and kennel mail. I'll just quickly give you my leftovers. I found one tonight. Actually spoke to Brendan Purcell through the week. He's got a really high opinion. This dog, race 8, number 6, Serial Sticker, unbeaten in 4 starts and a 22.30 winner there last start at Geelong. Very high opinion of it. So that's my leftovers.
Geelong tonight there, race 8, number 6, Serial Sticker. Kennel Mail. Let's find out what's happening with your runners for this weekend and if there's anything there worth getting involved with, Train, from your perspective.
Well, quite a lot of runners over the weekend, Shorty, and as you know, when I'm away, the kennel seems to fire up. So I thought I'll just tip one out tonight. Race 5, number 3, Enjoyable. Meets a pretty hard race, but I'll freshen her right up for this. Since she raced at Northern last week, she's probably only had a couple of gallops, so she's nice and fresh, and she'll need to be to ping and lead in that race as well as speed. And then we actually got a newcomer. She was in Wednesday, Shorty, but the meeting was called off. Curious Georgia. She's in race 8, number 7 on Tuesday. She's owned by Ben Damon, so I wish Ben all the best with her over here. And she's a really nice dog, Shorty. She can really run, so and she's out where she wants to be. So race 8, number 7 on Tuesday, Curious Georgia.
Curious Georgia, a newcomer to the camp there on Tuesday for the train with his kennel mail. Race 5, number 3, Enjoyable tonight, and Tuesday, race 8, number 7, Curious Georgia. What we have done from a kennel mail perspective, we'll get it all done now so that we cover all the WA action before we catch up with the interstate guys today. Lukey Townsend, Dennis Danuto as he's known on the photocopier. He's not keen tonight, but Saturday He's come up with 2. Race 1 on Saturday night, Premium Star. He's suggesting can run well. Race 1, number 4, Premium Star. Lightly raced youngster that's got a fair bit of upside. Nice each way odds. Race 1, number 4, Premium Star. And in race 12, the well-drawn Wise Barra does like to use a little bit of the circuit. And Lukey suggesting that it will go well late in the program. So looking for bookends with race 1, number 4, Premium Star. Race 12, number 7, Wise Barra. Big thanks to Luke and the House team there. To Graham Credelli, having a look at his key runners for the weekend from the kennel this upcoming weekend. And he has gone to tonight, race 3, number 1, What a Ripper. Drawn perfectly, has 100% strike rate from this box. However, the 4 dog is the one to contend with. That's Sunset Frazier. If it does anything wrong, we should be winning. So race 3, number 1, What a Ripper. It's yet to be beaten from box number 1 in its career to this point in time. And then race 4, number 2, Coulter Bale. Dropped back in grade now and has to show something in this grade. Has been trialling well, so it has to be an each-way chance. Race 4, number 2, Coulter Bale. A dog to watch out for there tonight at Mandurah. It's currently a $9 chance, so certainly the each-way option there tonight, race 4, number 2, Coulter Bale, if you're looking to have a play there with Enzo's team this weekend. And Saturday night, race 4, number 2, Ballistic Ant is the other dog. West on Booney should just be winning this, but if he doesn't show up, then she might run a cheeky race. She should lead this race, but realistically, she's running for second. So race 4, number 2, Ballistic Ant, it might be the right dog to bank her up behind West on Booney there on Saturday night to potentially jack up your trifectas, first fours and the like. So race 4, number 2, Ballistic Ant, the best of the Credelli runners there. And on to Brother Damien to round things out for today. Here we go. Here we go, Train. You'll like hearing this too. Race 1, number 2, Shaw Oliver. Loves the fence, and with the Sand Cruiser missing it lately, he will find it early. Has trialled 22.62 at his first ever look at the track, so improvement since racing here would not surprise. The race suits very well. Race 1, number 2, Shaw Oliver, which was one of the Train's tips earlier on in the program. The next one's one of mine. Race 2, number 4, Beauty and Me, has gone 16.02 off the back in the 488 and usually runs around the 16.10s before tiring in the last 30 metres. If she finds the front, it will be curtains over the 400. The 8 trialled 22.8 first look and went straight right out of the boxes, so the 8 will suit. Happy to watch him first up, though. So that's his other runner in the race, Osprey Wizard. But off that, you'd expect Beauty and Me to be capable of running a fair bit quicker than the 22.8. I thought it was the best bet on the program, so great to hear that. Race 2, number 4, Beauty in Me there from Damien. And then on to Saturday night with his thoughts there. Race 3, number 8, Go Seek Francine. Big show in this, very strong, and if it gets through early, will be hard to beat. It trialled Monday night, 27.50, priced beautifully for an each-way bet. So that's Saturday night, race 3, number 8, Go Seek Francine. Appreciate the guys giving trial times and the like as well. That's very kind. Also, just a bit of info. Circle the Moon only trialled 22.80, so nothing to get excited about yet. So more valuable information there from the kennel. A big thanks to Damien along with Graham and also Lukey Townsend. And the man on the other end of the line with us right now, the Shayne Train Williams. Shayne, that leaves us with the last thing that we need from you will be the very best. And, of course, you got it off to a winning start there last week, the very best of the week with, of course, a good result with Hinto getting the job done. And this is your opportunity now to build on that. $160 is in the bank at the moment for you off that performance from last week. So let's get your thoughts for the very best for this upcoming weekend of chasing.
Yeah, Hinto was very good last week, Shorty. Just actually waiting for Corey and Patch to arrive. They're not even here yet, so they're going to be a bit late to the party. But just quickly, Shorty, before I do, my mum rang me last week, and she's not a punter, Shorty. I put her Melbourne Cup bets on when I was 15 or 16, so she's got no idea how to punt, but she seen the podcast and she said, I can't write all them tips down. What do I do? And I said, well, Mum, just wait till the very end and multi everyone's best bets, and I've said you'll have a fill-up. So when you get Corey on, give him a clip. She's let Mum down. Three of us saluted, but Corey's best went a shy. So Mum's not happy, and just give Corey a clip for me on the way through, will you, Shorty? But my very best this weekend, punters, is I'm going to go to Saturday night, race 1, number 1, Max Capacity, 100 to win. Very nice dog. Going to get every chance from box 1. Very keen, Shorty. Race 1, number 1, Max Capacity on Saturday.
All right, race 1, number 1, a Max Capacity, 100 wins for the train there. And, he'll be looking to build on that 160. JC also picked up 160 with She Is Fire. Corey missed out with Elliot, unfortunately. That was the missing link. And Jimmy Jet arrived, and this is travesty because when we tipped it out, it was $2.20 on the fix. It's ended up jumping $1.30, so I've absolutely copped it up to Tijuana there with $1.30. But anyway, hopefully a few listeners got on at the much better odds that were available for most of the day there about Jimmy Jet last week. Okay, so I probably should give my very best while you're on the line, so we know what we're doing there. I'm looking to get it early tonight there at Mandurah. I just think Beauty and Me should find the front and over 400. I don't think they'll run it down, so that'll be my best for the weekend. Race 2, number 4, Beauty and Me tonight there at Mandurah. And yeah, should be black odds. I'd expect it to be very hard to beat there off what we've seen.
I'm looking now and I can see $3.30, so very good.
Yeah, I think it'll be really hard to. Only has to bring what it's been doing over the longer trip. I don't think they'll run it down over the 4. So, and good push as well there from Damo. So no reason why it won't be winning tonight there at Mandurah Race 2, number 4, Beauty in Me. I'll make the very best for this weekend. All right, Shayne. Well, great catching up there in Darwin today. Sounds like you're having an absolute ball. Pass on our best to everybody. Good luck to all the West Aussie connections that are involved with any of the dogs going around in that Darwin Cup final on Sunday, and touch base, let us know that you're still breathing up there.
I will do, Shorty. Tonight's going to be the battle. There's a few lunatics arriving, but we've touched on the Dog Cup just quickly. All the Mail again at the function was the favourite in the Horse Cup's going to be hard to beat as well, Shorty, trained by Neil Dyer. So Bear it is. It's got barrier 2 anyway. Sorry, I didn't have that information, but yeah, the favourite in the Horse Cup.
All right, so let me get this up for the punters so we know what we're doing there when we're having a look at Darwin for the Cup there. It's obviously the town, just a buzz up there as well with everyone involved and people from all over Australia that fly in. The Palmerston Sprint, of course, is another big race up there on Cup Day, and can't wait.
That's on Saturday. That's Saturday. Cup Day's Monday.
All right, so we'll get this market up for the punters. Yeah. Gee whiz, are you going to be able to hold out that long, great man?
Well, I don't know. There's a big tank there, Shorty. There's a big tank, as you know. So, and I am winding things down. I'll find this horse for you, Shorty. I'm looking right now. It's
race
Bear
10.
Story.
Bear Story. Race 10, number 1, Darwin.
Yep.
We can throw that into the leftovers section for the punters. Darwin Monday. If you're still upright and operating, race 10, number 1, Bear Story to get out. There'll be a few looking to get out. Race 10 on Monday afternoon after a long weekend in Darwin. I can imagine there'll be a few punters looking to drill out pretty hard with the Bear there on Monday afternoon.
I tell you now, Shorty, the bookies won't be cheering. I'll tell you now, if everyone's had their last on the favourite in the last race, they'll be paying out a lot of money. But, Noel Callow aboard and Neil Dyer, he spoke well yesterday at the function. So he's been coming up here for a long time, and I think he's actually looking at setting up a camp here as well if his son running it, so he'll have 2 stables. But, yeah, nice people and, Bear Story, Shorty, in the Cup Monday. Let's go.
Let's hope it's a good story for the Bear there on Monday. Good on you, Train. Wonderful catching up with you. We look forward to teaming up with you in studio again next week for the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set. Until then, many winners. Look after yourself.
All the best, punters.
It's a busy weekend of chasing in New South Wales. Joining the boys to help find you the winners, it's the one and only Jaycin Campbel.
Time now to head across to New South Wales, catch up with our man Jaycin Campbell. He was in very good form for us last week here on the Jet Set. Of course, his best bets, talk about class, She Is Fire, both arrived for the punters. The multi there around the $3.50 mark, and his Rover later in the night, Leg Speed, got the cash as well as a $3.40 chance. His very best on the program, She Is Fire, got the chockies. He's got $160 in the bank after week 1. So we're in positive territory there, which is excellent. Let's bring him in on this Friday afternoon. Hello, JC.
Hey, Shorty. How are you, mate?
Going really well, thanks, mate. Looking forward to Saturday night chasing there at Wentworth Park. We've got a 10-race card. There's some pretty nice dogs going around on the menu there. What do you make of the program?
Yeah, it's a nice program. As you mentioned, 10 races, 2 heats of the Sprint Championship. So we get to see the likes of Cindy Keeping, You Never Lose, returns to Michelle Sultana, Nangar Larry, Furness, Superstar Ethics. So, yeah, it's a pretty reasonable night, Shorty.
Excellent. Well, let's get straight into it, punters. The best bets from our man Jaycin Campbell for Saturday night there at Wentworth Park.
Yeah, not mucking around here, Shorty. Race 1, number 3, Power Cinder, looking to start off the night in a good way. I think she's had little luck in her past 2 starts. She's bumped into a few really hot 5th grade fields where the winners have clocked 29.64 and 29.43 respectively. There's barely a dog in this race that can break 30 seconds, and she's done it coming from off the speed. That's really important to note because this race doesn't really have a lid pinger engaged. She could very easily get sight of the lure here, and if she does that and she happens to land in the top 2, she's just going to be impossible to hold out late.
I like it. Race 1, number 3, looking to get the night off to a flyer with Power of Cinder. Anything else in that bracket?
Race 5, number 3, Rebel Ethics. He's shown really good versatility leading and coming from off the speed to win in his past 2 races against Cumbria Kid. Faces him once again here, and the key to this race is the 5-dog Spring Meteor. He has the speed to really work against Cumbria Kid here and really favour Rebel Ethics. He's just a bit more of a stronger dog, has won over the middle distance in the past. So I'm expecting a similar scenario to last week and the white rug to get over the top of them late.
Gee, I tell you, it was nice and strong last week, didn't it? Chime in the home straight.
He knows where the winning post is. That's what's most important, Shorty.
It certainly is. It's a good trait to have. There's no doubt about that. Are they just the 2 best bets? 1, 3, 5, 3.
Well, the best bet of the night. We'll wait till later.
Okay, that's cool.
Those are the 2 best ones, Shorty. We'll get to the value and whatnot now.
All right. I've got a couple that I'll throw into the mix. Race 6, number 6, Lorraine Jackie. Really like this dog. It's put together an excellent record. Loves racing at Wentworth Park. 6 for 3 and 3. In good hands with Ray Smith, and that most recent performance there, 29.67. Outstanding. Don't know price at this stage, but the dog's certainly there in with very good claims again on Saturday night. Race 6, number 6, Lorraine Jackie. And deeper into the program, dog that was a bit stiff last week. Race 9, number 2, Stop It. So I think this time around can go one better. Race 6, number 6, Lorraine Jackie, and race 9, number 2, Stop It. Let's get into your roughie for the weekend.
Heading to the last race, race 10, number 5, Irinka Lottie. She's been mixing her distance of late and is coming off a run over the middle distance. I think there's good speed expected here from Royal Panama in box 1. He can certainly string these dogs along. She should be able to just drop out of proceedings early, and if the runs do present themselves, I think she'll come over the top of these late. She's a nice bitch and definitely one to follow moving forward.
Okay, race 10, number 5, Irinka Lottie there. Let's get your quaddie thoughts. Races 5, 6, 7 and 8.
Starting off race 5, got to play the 3 and 5. Race 6, a little bit more open. Got to go 1, 2, your dog here, Lorraine Jackie, 6 and 8. Race 7, heading with 1, 4 and 7. And race 8, 2, 3 and 7. Don't normally like having that many numbers in the quaddie, Shorty. I like keeping it really short. No pun intended there. But it's just a really open race, the quaddie legs. So hopefully we can just get one up for punters.
Fair enough. 3, 5, 1, 2, 6, 8, 1, 4, 7, 2, 3, 7. That's $72 for a full unit. If you're looking to play there, you can play 720 and go for the 10%. Work to your budget there with the flexies and the multis and the like. Novelty Rover style of play for Saturday night, Wentworth Park. If you got one, you got the cash last week for us there with leg speed.
Yeah, race 2, number 2, Crowded House, has been in really consistent order since arriving in New South Wales earlier this year. She's placed in both her starts over this track and trip, has the speed to cross the red early and should be able to find the front. She does wear the shades, Shorty, and these are typically the dogs you want to have as your roving banker plays because they only go as fast as they need to go. So I think she's a very, very good chance to run 1, 2 or 3.
It's really good insight as well, JC. Generally, they're used as the last resort for most chasers. It's very rare that they're put on dogs that are chasing really keenly. So it's often used for dogs that don't always concentrate 100%. But a lot of those dogs find themselves piling up silver and bronze medals at home. And from a punting perspective, they can often be more valuable to me than a really well-exposed dog that's going to go around in the red that you can't get a lot out of. These dogs that are at big odds, hitting the frame regularly at double-figure odds can really jack up your trifectas and first fours, and that's why we like to mention them here. That part of what we're doing is helping to try and educate new punters and help them sort of find their way and how you can find different ways about making a buck punting on the greyhounds, and certainly roving dogs and finding dogs that are consistently into second and third can keep one of your novelty boxes really trim and mean that you can get decent percentages, or you can go wider and take more dogs to win the race. And if you happen to get something rough in that first box and you've still got your rover there, you can get some really healthy dividends and play for smaller percentages. So every race is different, but dogs that are consistently hitting the frame, running second and third, are just as good to me as the ones that are winning each start from a punting perspective. That is the novelty taken care of. Race 2, number 2, Crowded House. Wonderful band back in the day as well, the Finn Brothers. And the very best from Jaycin Campbell for Saturday night, Wentworth Park is...
Geez, you really summed up Crowded House really well there. That was really well. Really
do you rate
well
him? Do you know him? You're a young man. Do you know? Have you heard any Crowded House tracks over the years?
I couldn't name one off the top of my head, but if you played it in the car, I'd probably sing along to it. But no, she is the equivalent to a roving banker player, as you mentioned. She's had 20 starts for 4 gold medals and the 7 silver medals, which is pretty much a dead giveaway. And as you mentioned there, there's always got to be a winner to every race. And if that dog's $1.80, there's always going to be something that has to run second and third. So, if you get Crowded House, from a betting perspective, you'd probably rather take Crowded House $1.80 to run a drum than a dog to win $1.80, because they just need a lot more to go right. So,
yeah, spot on.
Further education for the punters, hopefully.
Excellent. So that's your very best of the weekend. Race 2, number 2, Crowded.
No. It's I'm teaming up with you, Shorty. I'm not sure what the train likes, but race 9, number 2, Stop It. I thought he was really, really unlucky last week. He was heavily supported, started favourite against Flash Boom Bang. That's really good form lines for this 5th grade race. He mustered extremely hard. He just missed the kick there. I think he can get away with it here. He's drawn much lower here, and I think he's going to be able to push through, find the front, and be extremely hard to run down. Anything around that $1.60 to $1.80 mark, I'd probably be very happy to jump into.
Excellent. All righty. The very best of the weekend, race 9, number 2, Stop It. And 100 goes straight on the snout for our man, Jaycin Campbell. How's your weekend looking, JC? You got a bit going on. What are you up to? Any social activities over the next couple of days?
I'm not sure what I'm doing tomorrow, but going to the Blue Mountains on Sunday. So always like to have the Sundays off and go out into nature, just to just a few stick beats through the week, just to sort of let them out there.
I like it. That's cool. Get a bit of fresh air and get out into the elements.
100%. What about yourself, Shorty? Anything?
Pretty busy. Kids football, so heavily involved with my kids football on Sunday, which will be great fun. And just lots of work on. I work on Saturdays covering all the different race meetings for half-time reports and stuff like that, which is good fun. And lots of footy, lots of great AFL, lots of tremendous Olympics action, and lots of greyhounds to win money with this weekend. Hopefully, JC, courtesy of your good self and the rest of the Jet Set team.
100%. Hopefully we can continue what we did last week. It was absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, we were having a bit of fun on the chat group as all the winners were landing in throughout the course of the night. It was a lot of fun.
100%.
All right, let's do it all over again this Saturday. Good on you, JC. Have a ripper weekend. Enjoy the elements. We'll catch you next week right here on the Jet Set.
You too. Thanks, mate.
Another massive evening of metropolitan chasing lies ahead at the Meadows on Saturday night. To dissect the card, here's the man with the Melbourne Mail, Corey Smith.
Time now to head across to Victoria, and the man with the hot hand, he missed out on the very best, but there's no worry there when you're landing Needful at $2.40, Lassard at $7, Zipping Menage at $7, and the roving banker Stacey's mum also lobbed into a hole there, running second for the Rover players as well. He was in spectacular form, and it's great to have him back on the Jet Set this Friday afternoon. Corey Smith, welcome to you, Corey.
G'day, Shorty. I'm obviously not paying you enough to keep the best bet losing quiet, because I reckon there's a few people that are going to give me a nice clip for that. But as you said, I had a good night last week, which is always nice to see. But it was a luckless run. You and I were texting after the run, and he was lucky to keep his feet, Elliot, but he was huge.
It was a massive performance to stay upright, let alone then fight back. And the way that he hit the line after that severe interference through the first corner, that it was a really good chasing performance. And it's a dog that clearly the punters should keep on their radar heading forward. Looks to be a nice type in the making, but bad luck stepped in there last week. But not with the others. They were all very good, and a number of them, as we touched on, at nice each way prices. Let's grab your best bets for this Saturday night there at the Meadows. It's quite a good card, obviously, with the big night that was on there last night at Sandown with the national sprint and distance heats. Oh, that was some card last night. But with all that going on, we've still been left with a pretty solid program out there at the Meadows on Saturday night. 12 races and some pretty nice types still on this card.
Yeah, it goes to show the depth in Victoria at the moment. We might not have the complete and utter top liners, the likes of your Fernando Bales, your Wow She's Fast, that are just kind of transcending the sport, but we do have a fair crop that's got a fair bit of depth to it. And a few trainers target these sort of meetings at the Meadows when there's a nice card at Sandown because they think they can knock off an easier win. And one of those dogs is the Golden Easter Egg winner in McKenna, who goes around in box number 1, which she'll be nice and short and hopefully be winning and strutting her stuff before she heads up for $1 million chase campaign. But it's one of those race meetings where the trainers try and set their dogs to it. If they don't think they're the caliber of a national sprint dog or they need a little bit of confidence, they come to the Meadows. And speaking a little bit of confidence, as I get to my best bet, the first of my best bets, there'll be a few listeners that this is only the second time I'm appearing on this podcast, but they'll probably get the gist that I'm a bit of a sick bastard sometimes, Shorty, and I'm going with the best bet with Elliot once again. He comes up in race 1, box number 4. And I don't know why I do this to myself. I don't know why I do it to Paul Abella. He caught wind of me going with the very best bet last week with Elliot, and he gave me a little bit of stick straight after the race when he got rolled. And I think one Cody Charles is to blame, who got onto Paul Abella. I don't want to name names, but we got to give Cody a bit of stick as well for throwing me under the bus, I reckon.
Yeah, that's a bit ordinary from our man Cody. He's better than that. But it's great to have him tuned in. He was actually our first VIP guest on the first week here, and he's a great member of our local community. He's a ripper, and he was giving you a bit of a clip, but you've stuck fat there with Elliot, and I think off that run last week, you can absolutely understand why. Just hopefully this time around, no getting turned sideways through that first corner would be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And Cody Charles, he is a superstar. We obviously saw him over here when Sage Daniil won the Nationals last year. And, he's an absolute star, Cody. So no disrespect there. It's all in good fun. And, yeah, Elliot, I think we might get a decent price. We'll get a better price than we did last week, given he only went 30 and 71 overall, which on paper that doesn't look great. But as soon as you watch the replay, you can understand why. I think with clear air, he's probably a sub 30 seconds dog. So I'm keen to go again, and we'll back Elliot again, and hopefully I don't pull his tail this time, and I can get him home for the punters. And then my second best bet of the night, race 2, number 3. So we'll know our fate early for the best bet punters. Colac Kid, he's armed with a 30 flat PB here, but gets a nicer box and map. He's had a string of poor draws, 7, 4, 7 and 8, and I'm hoping that we can kind of punch up in the early stages and follow what I think is the only genuine speed dog in the racing, Queen Avenger, from box number 2, and then we take over down the back. As I said, it's a race that doesn't really have a huge amount of speed, and Queen Avenger's gone 5.04 here previously, so it looks a clear leader to me. But I think by leading, that'll just bring Colac Kid into the race perfectly. So you could probably play a same race multi with both of those, Colac Kid and Queen Avenger, but I'm really keen to take Colac Kid tomorrow night as well.
Okay, very nice. Looking to get involved early doors there at the Meadows. Race 2, number 3, Colac Kid. Race 1, number 4, Elliot. I've got a couple of best bets on the program. I'm going to kick things off. Race 4, number 6, Livable. One here for Jeff Britton. There's a greyhound that strikes a very winnable race here. Go back to the performances 4 and 5 runs ago, and something like those here would see Livable really hard to beat. So race 4, number 6, Livable. And I'll go with deeper into the program, the dog that was good to us last week, race 9, number 3, Vital Step, from the same kennel. So a couple from the Jeff Britton camp there on Saturday night, 4, 6, Livable, and 9, 3 in Vital Step. Moving on now to the best roughie on the program.
Race 6, number 1, Mr. Fahrenheit, obviously comes in what is arguably the strongest race of the night with the likes of Alpha Zulu, Mapunga Ollie, who's been in good winning form. But I've gone with a greyhound that you need to – I don't know how I have the confidence to be doing this sort of thing, but he's one of only 4 dogs to break the 5-second barrier at the Meadows this year, and he's had some awful runs. He's gone 7th, 5th, 8th and 8th, but I think they've been in unsuitable grade or over unsuitable distances. So coming up with the good draw, the inside draw in a race with it's loaded with dogs that have to lead to win, to be honest. I think he'll be worth a very small each way bet. And I know Zipping Minaj, my roughie last week, was only around that $7 mark. I'm expecting Mr. Fahrenheit to be around the $30 plus mark in this race. And it's a bit of a speculative one, but he has a good record from inside draws. And as I said, he can show a little bit of early toe from time to time. So it's a tough race, and I'm just having a very, very small play. But I think he'll come up a big enough price for us to play into that market.
He's won 2 of 6, track and trip, and the last time he won was 5 starts ago from box number 1 at the Meadows in 30 and 40. So I can absolutely understand why you could be making a case for Mr. Fahrenheit as your roughie for this weekend. What about a quaddie, races 5, 6, 7 and 8?
Yeah, first leg 4, 5, 6 and 8. In the second leg 1, 3, 5 and 6. Third leg will be 4, 6 and 8. And then I'm coming home in the last with McKenna 1 out the 1. So hopefully we can survive the first 3 legs, get a little bit of value in there. Mr. Fahrenheit winning would be beautiful for the quaddie. And then we can just cheer on the superstar that is McKenna in the last leg.
Absolutely. 4, 5, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 6, 4, 6, 8, 1. That's $48 for a full unit there. On to your roving banker for this weekend.
Late in the card last week worked for us in the roving banker, so I'll do it again in race number 11 with box number 1, Duckworth. He's had an awful run of box draws, 8, 6, 8, 6, 7 over his last 5. But prior to that, he had the red box and he broke 30 seconds here. He should get the room he needs on the rail to run into the top 3 at the very least. The only reason I haven't made him one of my best bets of the program is the 5 where it began. It's the main danger for mine, and it just concerns me a little bit. It's a very talented greyhound. It was good last week, winning in 29.76 at Sandown. And the other thing just to keep a note of is Duckworth is a second reserve in the 600-metre final, which is race 5 on the program. So a little bit concerned with my roving banker, but I do think he runs top 3 and he just loves that inside draw, particularly here at the Meadows.
Very nice indeed. Race 11, number 1, Duckworth as our rover. I've got a couple of rovers on Saturday night. First of them is race 5, number 8, Galactic Spartan. This dog's been racing really consistently for Matty Lanigan. Should go around at a nice price. It is a race where there's a few winning hopes, and I think that Galactic Spartan should be able to hit the frame, and if we get the right numbers around it, I think we might be able to get a nice novelty div out of this race. Race 5, number 8, Galactic Spartan, and race 10, number 6, Volkanovski, another greyhound that's very reliable as far as hitting the frame goes, and is another great rover in race number 10 on the program there. It's been placed its last 5, and something like that again here. Obviously, its PB time's not up to a lot of the opposition, but seems to be able to run quick enough to just keep sneaking home with silvers and bronzes, something similar. And again, it's a dog that'll be at a good price. If it can run into the top 3 there, I think we should be able to get a divvy out of race 10, number 6, Volkanovski. They're my 2 rovers there for Saturday night at the Meadows. And the very best, is it Elliot again as the very best?
I'm going to try and redeem ourselves. Hopefully Shayne's mum can get a little bit of cash back. I think we'll get a better price, so hopefully we can win enough back that I'm in front on this $100 tipping competition. It was the jinx last week. I nailed everything else, so hopefully I can reverse the fortunes and get Elliot home and get him to show his absolute best, because I think his best is going to shape up really nicely here in Victoria.
Corey, if I'm being 100% honest with you, I'd be quite happy with you to keep it as it was last week. If you're only going to miss one and the rest are going to arrive like they did at $7 last week, I think the punters will be able to cope with that okay. Don't get too hung up on the old miss on the very best week one. Early ripe, early rotten is what they say, and the rest of the stuff was absolutely spectacular. So looking forward to it. 1 for Elliot, 2, 3 Colac Kid, a roughie Mr. Fahrenheit, race 6, number 1, and Duckworth for the Rover. Now we need to wish you good luck because you're heading up to Darwin. We caught up with the train earlier on the program, and he's there and ready and waiting for you. He said he's already got the first couple of rounds ordered, and he can't wait for you to get up there and get right amongst it.
I'm a little bit nervous because I do know he likes a Jim Beam, and I'm much more of a beer man. So I don't really want to get in a shout with him because it's going to cost me an arm and a leg for the spirits. But I'm looking forward to getting up there and looking forward to having a beer with a few people up there and getting into some nicer weather. The weather here in Victoria at the moment is not all that pleasant. I just keep looking at the weather app each and every day and see Darwin's 30 degrees. So I'm going to have to eat some sunscreen to make sure I don't get too bad of a sunburn. It's going to be plenty of fun. I'm looking forward to getting up to Darwin for the first time.
You'll be able to pack the shorts and thongs, mate. It'll be a while since you've had them out.
Yeah, exactly right. I think I'm going to be blinding a few people. I hope everyone wears sunglasses up there because the nice pasty legs will be out of force. And it'll be good. And hopefully everyone in the office here today said you just need to make sure you work on your tan, Corey. And I said, well, I'm probably just going to come back red raw, but we'll work on it anyway.
It'll brown over at some stage on the way back. That's the upside to that scenario. Hey, are you a football fan, Corey? Who's your footy side?
I am. I'm a Pies fan, so I just keep reliving last year. We're forgetting about this year, I think, and moving on. But I am looking forward to Scott Pendlebury's 400th. It's a shame I won't get across to it, obviously, being up in Darwin, but I'll watch it on TV. I'll make sure of that. And what a superstar he's been for the comp and for the Collingwood Footy Club. But, yeah, it's an intriguing year, the AFL. I just thought the Swans had run away with it this year, but there's a few others that are making their case now.
Yeah, big time. It's the most open and exciting season for such a long period of time, and that is going to be something to watch there on Saturday night. The Pies and the Blues, full house at the MCG. Absolute champion of the game, Scotty Pendlebury, playing his 400th. That's going to be box office, make no mistake about that. You've been box office yourself today here on the Jet Set, Corey. Appreciate your time as always. Have a great time up in Darwin, and we'll catch up with you again this time next week.
Legend. Thanks, Shorty.
There we have a Corey Smith joining us with all the latest for the Saturday night chasing at the Meadows.
On the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set, here are the Darwin tips with Bones Harman.
Time now to catch up with Andrew Bones Harman. He was with us for the first time last week here on the Jet Set and absolutely nailed it. 3 plays. He went bingo, bango, bongo. Molotov Boy, $3.40. A beautiful viewing. The Quinella with Omar Manelli and Dundee Lexi. That was flashed home late to give us a Quinella there. And Our Therapy arrived late in the program. So 3 for 3 for our man Bones Harman. He now joins us on the Jet Set podcast. G'day, Bones.
G'day, Shorty. G'day, Train. Thanks for having me, lads.
Yeah, great to have you on the program. I'm flying solo. The train's up in Darwin, believe it or not, for Cup weekend.
Oh, half his luck. It'd be lovely up there.
Yeah, we spoke to him earlier on in the program, and he had a big time of it there for Thursday night. So he's sort of just nursing his way through Friday, but he's got day at the races tomorrow, Darwin Cup Greys on Sunday night, and then out to the races again on Monday. So luckily he's got a big tank, and he certainly does aim to fill it up over the next few days. Bonesy, tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into your tips and your look at the Darwin Cup for this week. We, of course, know that you've got a relationship with Ryan Levitsky, Pete Cameron, some of the really great people in our local industry.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to have known those blokes for a fairly long time. Pete through sort of school and was the Curtin Footy Club, and Ryan off the back of that as well. And they sort of got me into a couple of dogs early doors. Pete had a really good one that won an Oaks. They both did, called Crop Duster. And we had a tiny little interest in that. A few of us mates jumped on board with him, and that was just a great way to get involved in the industry and see what it's all about. And from there, I had other mates that saw that I was having fun, and I managed to rope them in with Pete as well into a dog called All Zipped Up, who was a really handy dog. And
Sean Kavanagh trained that one?
Sean did train that one. It won, I think, a summer scorcher, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, rocked up every week and tried its heart out, and the boys were super lucky that was their first taste of owning a dog. So since then, we've had a couple along the way, nothing to the quality of an All Zipped Up. But it's just been very lucky to be involved with good guys that have taught me a lot about the industry.
Absolutely, and how to do the form. And you're obviously really taken to Darwin chasing up there. And this is going to be a segment we'll do each week with you, Bones, because last Sunday was the last local meeting that we'll have on Sunday for a pretty significant period of time. So punters out there, we're all in the habit of having a bet on a Sunday afternoon, and there's lots of ex-WA dogs that find their way up to Darwin. It's a beautiful place to bet because you've got the same pool of dogs going around week in, week out. So once you get your head around the traits and characteristics of the pool of dogs up there, it's not like you've got a lot of different variables coming into play each week.
Exactly right. It can make it a little bit easier, but the one problem we might have up there in Darwin every now and then is they've got a few tricks, these dogs. So they can throw up a surprise or two, but that's part of the fun. Once we sort of learn what they're all about, we can hopefully bet accordingly. And nothing better on a Sunday night than going to bed with this smile on your face after backing a couple of winners late. So
big time.
Hopefully we can manage to do that.
And one of the best race callers in the business as well. There's nothing like time for drinks on the last race of the card at Darwin each Sunday.
Yep, Craig goes very well up there. He adds a little bit of flavour. It's always good fun on a Sunday night trying to pick something out of the Darwin pack.
Most definitely. All right, well, let's and also just quickly, your footy, you've been involved pretty heavily with the Wesley Curtin Footy Club, a very successful amateur football club here in Western Australia, and no, that's great that you've got a lot of your teammates and guys from the club involved. It's wonderful how greyhound racing, it really can be something that brings people together, be it families or friends or sporting clubs and the like, and I know sort of from my time in cricket over the years, and so many guys that you sort of chat a little bit, and as you get to know them, someone will say, "Do you like a punt?" "Oh, yeah, I don't mind a punt." And it can sort of lead to some really exciting times. We've had stacks of punters clubs and the like over the years from different sporting clubs and the likes that I've been involved with, and it's just a great way to have an interest and share it with some of your teammates.
Yeah, very much so. It's a great bonding experience for a lot of the boys. A lot of those boys down there are involved in horses, and they're hitting me up to jump in on a dog or two along the way. So it's just that added little extra bit of fun that can bond everyone together and hopefully make $1 or $2 while we're doing it.
Now, Bones, you have to spread the word. Let all the boys there at the Wesley Curtin Footy Club know all about the Jet Set podcast. Get them all tuning in each week. That's a nice way to make some coin. I think we had between us something like 24 tips last week, and I think 18 of them were able to get a result for us. So that's the sort of stuff that can have the boys there at Wesley Curtin tuned in each Friday to the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set podcast. And, of course, that way they can get stuck into you as well, because I'm sure there's plenty of your mates that are giving you a bit of a fizz up on being part of the team here. Let's see if you can't give them something to be cheering hard for on Sunday afternoon. We'll start with the feature race itself and then get into your best bets on the program. The feature race number 8 comes up 6:46 WA time on Sunday night, and having a look at the TABtouch fixed odds market here, Flip Your 50, 225 and firm at the head of the market. Omar Manelli at 310. Smart and Classy, thought it was a really good heat win last week. It hit the line particularly well, and it was able to run best of the night, 31 and 28. It's a $5 chance. The first reserve, River Rough, is at $5.50. Dundee Lexi, who got back and charged home late, it's been 10 into $9.50. Wolfman, former West Aussie, $10 and firm. Molotov Boy, 11 into 10. Get Out, the second reserves, 13 into 12. Messed Up Mary, 20 to 21. And Bantam Rocket, another former West Aussie, is the outsider of the field, 21 out to $23. How do you see the feature race of the night?
It's a cracking race, Shorty. And you mentioned the XWA dogs. There's heaps of them floating around. I think there's 5 that have spent some time in WA. So good to see some representation in the final. And realistically, I can make a case for most of these dogs. There's probably only one in Messed Up Mary in the 4, which I would be slightly shocked if she managed to get over the top. She's certainly by no means a bad dog, but will likely not get out as fast as these and may have a little bit too much work to do. But realistically, out of that 8, any of those other 7 have got pretty decent chances. In the one, Dundee Lexi, she was massive. I'm not sure she's a 5.37 dog, but she's been up running over in that Queensland Carnival against the likes of Valpolicella, and running against dogs of that class means that you're going pretty well. The box 1 affords her heaps of chances. If they span out on that first turn, which they possibly could, and she's anywhere within 5 or 6 lengths coming around that bend, you wouldn't want her chasing you down. Definitely worth a little spec at some odds there. In the 2, Flip Your 50, and 3, Omar Manelli. So they're the 2 local dogs that have been absolutely flying recently. They've both got track records in the last couple of months. Flip Your 50 equaled the 312 track record from memory, and Omar Manelli got the 383 track record. So really good to see them get their chance in the final. I've both got them. They're a little bit short for mine. I can absolutely see them winning. Flip Your 50 could just roll straight to the front and be super strong. He does have a touch habit of missing it slightly, but does muster really, really well. Omar Manelli easily could jump to the front as well and see them off, but would probably need a little bit of traffic in behind just to see its way home. I think it's running a 31.40 or a 31.50. Could just be a little bit suspect late. So I'm happy to take them on to a little extent. Messed Up Mary in the 4. We spoke about her in the 5, Bantam Rocket. Another ex-WA dog. A little bit of value here, I reckon.
This could absolutely be a lovely roving banker style of play in this race. If people remember the dog here in WA, Bonesy, this dog runs a lot of placings. It's had 8 starts up there in Darwin for 1 win, 4 seconds and a third track and trip, and that's not a surprise. This dog it can sort of go as quick as the dogs around it is probably the best way to say it. But it's the $23 rank outsider of the field, and I wouldn't faint at all if it ran second or third in this race.
No, it's exactly what I was going to say. You would not want Bantam Rocket to rock to the front relatively early, because it'll probably have a little bit of a look around and maybe just want his mates to catch up to him. But if there's something out in front as a lure, Bantam Rocket will chase super hard, and a second or a third certainly wouldn't shock, and I wouldn't be surprised if it snuck something. So certainly at 23, I saw it opened up a bit longer than that somewhere else. So Someone's had a little bit of a nibble there.
Fair enough too. I think that's a ridiculous price in a race like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And Smart and Classy, like you mentioned, exceptional heat win.
That could be a push. That could be a push for Smart and Classy. I think your canine's pretty keen to get involved with the green rug here, Bonesy.
I tell you what, we've certainly got a fan of Smart and Classy going on there. Excellent heat win. An experienced dog as well. Was in the Bundaberg Cup final earlier in the year. Can do it at both ends. It's strong. It's quick early, and I've got it on top. So Smart and Classy seems like the dog that you can probably trust the most in this field. And at $5, I think that's much better value than your couple of favourites at the moment. And then you get out to 7 and 8, Wolfman, Molotov Boy. They came out of the same heat. Wolfman crossed early and jumped to the front, and I thought it was probably going to run out of sight and win quite comfortably, Shorty. But Molotov Boy was very, very strong. And every run so far in Darwin, it's run a pretty comparable time, and it's shown really no flaws. So I'm happy to go, put a little bit on Molotov Boy as well at $10 again. It's run quite well. Those dogs in 6, 7, 8, they're certainly not fence crashers, but they'll come across and it could cause a little bit of trouble. So who knows? Molotov Boy could get a nice run just hanging wide for a touch. So there's plenty of options in the race.
Big time. And it's strong to the line. As we saw last week, Molotov Boy, it's right in the race as a $10 chance. Wolfman could be the dog, allowing 6 and 8 to get nice runs in the early stages of the race. And they'll both finish the race off pretty nicely as well. Smart and Classy in particular, a dog that have been going around over multiple distances, a really, really versatile canine, winner of nearly 100,000. I'm really surprised how big the price is, because it was the fastest qualifier, and it came from this very box 6. So it's not like it's come from the Cherry last week and run that time. It's coming from the same draw again. So it's a nice push from our man Bones Harman, race 8, number 6, Smart and Classy each way. Have a saver on number 8, Molotov Boy. And if, like myself, you like to play trifectas and first fours, Bantam Rocket could be a really nice dog to rove up to run second or third and hit the frame as the rank outsider in the race. And it doesn't normally matter too much what happens, even if the faves win. If the rank outsider hits second or third, you're probably still going to find yourself with a nice trifecta or first 4 out of the race. That's the Darwin Cup taken care of. What about the rest of the program, Bones?
Yeah, tricky night for most of the night. There's some pretty even races and a few of these dogs jumping out of sort of the heats and stuff, floating into some races that they're probably untested over. In saying that, race 3, number 3, Samurai Mine, Queensland dog that was in their carnival recently, drops down into a very winnable maiden 4-5, 5-3-7 race. He ran up against McKenna and Explicit and third to Explicit by 5.5 lengths. Is ridiculous form for a Darwin maiden 4-5. I'm not sure there'll be much of a price, but we might be able to multi that up with our other selection in Georgia Girl, race 4, number 5. Again, another WA dog, and I just saw something last start that I think she might have settled. Hoping we get an okay price for her. Always hard figuring out those prices too early on a Friday. They could pop up super short, but again, we can multi them together. The one pullover was really good last start, but it's a bit of a lunatic. Could easily come last as well. My Scout Zoe charges across. Generally one of the better beginners in Darwin, but struggling to see out the trip these days. Could give her a great cart into the race, and 7 on the outside. Team play misses happy wide. So Georgia Girl looks pretty handy there. 3-3 and 4-5. If we're not getting the odds we want, I think we just multi them together and hopefully get something out of that.
All righty. So race 3, number 3, race 4, number 5, Samurai Mine into Georgia Girl for our man Bones. Is that it for Sunday there, Bones?
That is it for Sunday, mate. We'll hopefully get something out of the cup, and then hopefully those two rock up together.
All right. Now, what I will throw out is a dog that, for me, week in, week out, I place the same bet every Sunday, and sometimes through the week if they've got meetings on. This is never a win bet, but there's a dog there having its 130th start in the last race there on Sunday, former West Aussie called Aaron Keeping. Now, Aaron Keeping is close to the most faultless beginner that Darwin will have ever seen. It does the same thing every week. If there was a 240-metre distance up there, it probably would have something like 60 wins, but they don't, and it does paddle the back end of 312 metres, but it goes around as close to the rank outsider nearly every time it goes around in a small field up there at Darwin, and nearly every time it runs 3rd or 4th. And you can just lock it into 3rd and 4th in your boxes, play it with the field for a skinny percentage, and then get down and a little more serious about finding the winner and trimming up the boxes around it. But you can just take box 3 and box 4 with Aaron Keeping, a little bit with the second box, and take that to the bank each week. And I've been using that for probably 6 months now, Bones, with Aaron Keeping, and there's very few Sundays go by that we don't get a nice result out of the trifecta or first 4 in Aaron Keeping's races.
Great call on that one, mate. Loves the inside box as well. And that is not, by any stretch of the imagination, a strong race. So if there's any sort of pressure behind him, he could scoot away with these ones. I've got him probably leading. The danger is in that race, maybe Scott to take in the 7, but none of those dogs are in ripping form whatsoever. So Aaron Keeping, absolutely a good play in the last bit.
Indeed. And don't back it to win whatever you do, because its numbers of 4 from 65 tell you the tale. It needs literally the rest of the field to fall over to win. And you often, if you don't know the dog, it could turn with a lead of 4 lengths and you think, well, this is all over. Over 3:12, surely you don't faint that quickly. It does. It faints that quickly, but normally it's got that big of a break on them turning for home that only 1 or 2 get past it in the home running. So, yep, Aaron Keeping, I'll be cheering hard for 3rd or 4th again there on Sunday. Bonesy, so good having you on the Jet Set podcast. Thanks. We really do appreciate your time here on the program. Can't wait to continue to follow your Darwin tips each and every Sunday afternoon, and all the very best over the weekend. Any footy with Wesley Curtin this weekend?
Yes, mate, taking on Ocean Ridge at home. So, yeah, another tough top of the top 5 clash. The top 5 are all separated by sort of 1 game at the moment, the A-grade footy. So, it's going to be another difficult week, but hopefully we get the chockies.
All right, good luck to you and all the team down there. Bones, appreciate your time, mate. Have a ripper weekend.
Thanks, Shorty. Happy to be on board, and happy punting, mate. Cheers.
Great to have a chat to Bones Harman and to all of our crew today. Wonderful around the grounds with Corey Smith there at the Meadows. Jaycin Campbel of course, with Wentworth Park and the Shayne train up there in Darwin, with a good look at the Amandra program for Friday and Saturday night. To our kennel mail guys, Damien and Graham Credelli, and also Lukey Townsend, a big thanks to them. No VIP guests this week, and of course it's logical without having the train here to produce the 10 burning questions of the week. It would only have been wasted. So we will have our VIP industry guest back joining us when the train joins us back in the studio next week. Very best of the weekend. If you've missed those on the way through, make sure you get around those this upcoming weekend. Corey Smith is going back to the well after having no luck last week. He's decided that Elliot is going to get the job done for him again there on a Saturday night. So good luck there to Corey. That is race 1, number 4, Elliot. The train, race 1, number 1, max capacity, 100 win there on a Saturday night. Jaycin Campbell, race 9, number 2, Stop It, as his very best. And I'll go tonight there at Mandurah, race 2, number 4, Beauty in Me. And rounding it out for our gag of the week, 40 thieves die in an accident. They arrive at the gates of heaven and are met by Sir Peter. He says there are only 12 places available in heaven and they must decide who goes in. A few minutes later, Sir Peter approaches God. He says they're gone. God replies, "What, all 40 of them?" He said, "No, Sir Peter, the bloody gates." So the thieves have struck again. Unbelievable. Even up there, who would have thought? That brings us to a close on the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set for this Friday afternoon. Thanks so much for your company. Wishing you all a stack of winners. If you're having a punt this weekend, do it responsibly and be sure to do it with the brand that funds the industry, TABtouch. We'll catch you again this time next week for the next edition of the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set.
Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set. Be sure to share and retweet the show to help grow our community. Into 'em, punters.